Alright, I think we're ready. As usual, let's test the audio first. Let's see how it is on Twitch. It's working just fine. And how about YouTube? Oh. Okay, on YouTube we are lock and loaded. Sick. Great. Let me just turn on the chat in here. And we're ready. Hi guys. Welcome to the stream on this lovely Sunday morning. Maybe it is not quite lovely where I live. It is kind of sunny but super windy and a little bit chilly. But still, I feel good. I hope y'all feel good as well. I hope you have a nice, wonderful Sunday morning. If you're watching this for the first time, hi, my name is Ada. I'm a gameplay programmer. Been so for the last 10 years. And today's topic will be Chaos modular vehicles. On the couple past streams, I was messing around with new version of Mover plugin, and I was asked by Isam75 and inspired to go into Mover plugin and see if I could do some vehicle movement there on last stream, and I was doing it for like 4 hours and determined like, yes, you could do some shit, but honestly, it doesn't look like the best approach. But once again, Isam75 inspired another stream because he talked about Chaos modular vehicles, which I never really touched before. I only turned that on the last stream, and I decided, well, I want to do sometime a stream about that. Let's see what they cooked up with the Chaos modular vehicles. And it turns out they cooked up a lot. I don't know how it works. My input wasn't working on the last stream for that, but today we have a special dedicated stream towards that. We will see if it will be a two-parter or a singular stream. Let me just adjust my beverage because I fear that it will... my hot beverage, which is tea, that it will spill onto my audio mixer. So yeah, that's the today's stream, and as usual, which is the mission of this whole channel and this whole streaming of mine, no preparation beforehand. The way I start this shit is the same way that you would start this shit. I turned on the project that I was using before, which was just Chaos Vehicle template on the last stream, and I turned on some of the plugins. So this time I will turn all of them off just to show the full workflow of how you would turn on those plugins. Then we will try to make the input work, because that's one thing. We will see if there is any documentation, because Mover plugin has README created with the markdown. So mind blown, right? So we will close that. My project is in C++. I decided to run the C++ version of the Chaos Vehicle template. Let's turn it on, and we will see how it happens. Meanwhile, I will try to see in, for example, Total Commander, whether there is, in my Total Commander, whether there is any documentation. What the? I have no idea what it was talking about in this second. Runtime, and let's see if they have anything on that. They really don't. Okay. And why is my project not loading? And as usual, something is not working right out from the get-go. I might have messed up some things. The game module card vehicle CPP could not be loaded. There may be an operating system error. The module may not be properly set up, or a plugin which has been included into the build has not been turned on. Okay, yeah, I turned off some plugins. Let's fix that quick because I wanted to show you the real way of turning on stuff. So let's fix all of that. So most probably, even though I turned off the plugins, probably my U project file got messed up. So let's open it up and see. No, everything's all right in here. So where could there might be a problem here? Chaos vehicles. This might be the problem. Let's turn that on. Right now, Rider generates the new, maybe not the new solution, but refreshes the whole model of the solution, and I should be safe to build this stuff. Wait, what? Now I have this problem. Okay, I might have went overboard with this. I love it. I love it whenever I touch a new stuff on, I try to do something, things break. But that's great because it's actually show the realness of the whole stream. That's why it's called real game dev, because when I work at day job, at whatever company I worked on, everyone faces against shit like this. That's the most time wasting that happens. At least that's been my observation, that some stupid shit breaks and you're like, why? Why does it break, right? Okay, so I brought back including chaos vehicles. Let's see if it will work right now. Because something stupid, when I turned off those plugins, something stupid has to like give. I might have turned off a little bit more than I wanted. Because the project compiles, but some module is messed up. The game module card vehicle CPP could not be loaded, but why? Okay, show me the log. Failed to load card. The whole freaking DLL got messed up. Missing import, chaos vehicles. So it kinda looks like I should just do something like this. Oh my god, no. And chaos vehicles plugin. That's at least what the log shows me. Failed to load. Card vehicle CPP DLL Unreal Editor chaos vehicles. Missing import. That's kind of how it looks like, right? We'll see. If not, I can always, delete this project because I don't have anything here and just create new one. Or use any one of those that I already have, And it already failed? No. Yeah, so that was the problem. Okay, so plugins. So the way to turn this on is chaos vehicles. Yeah, I went a little bit too far because I turned off chaos vehicles plugin, which is a must for template, the chaos vehicles template. But what we want to turn on is chaos modular vehicle. Click. click, and we need to restart the editor to make it work. So we will do it again. Yeah, so that's been my whole mission statement with those streams, to be as real as possible. Just kind of how it is at the day job when you're a gameplay programmer. You're integrating a new plugin, using new library or whatever, and just something messes up. And you gotta figure your way out of it. Or you are evaluating whether something new that Epic released or someone on Epic Games that released is something, you know, something breaks, or you're trying to evaluate whether it will be usable for your project, and it will take time. The documentation won't be there, etc., etc., etc. So I'm trying to show off the real learning curve of stuff. And the mission is, of course, to touch upon things that I don't really do at the day job. And I really encourage everyone to stretch out their horizons. Dexterovsky is here. Hi, Dexterovsky. How is your Sunday going on? Oh my god, Dexterovsky says, oh my god, I had paused stream and I was thinking, what the fuck is this guy doing so much time? But on the real side of things, I lost like 5 minutes because I turned off a little bit more plugins that I should have. And I was like getting an error that the whole project cannot be run because one module was not loading correctly. And I was like, oh shit, did I fuck up my whole stream right at the beginning? Which would be, you know, real and precious. So you didn't miss much by pausing me. You was just seeing me fumbling around a little bit because module wasn't loading properly. But now we're here. We're gonna deep dive on Chaos Modular Vehicles. First thing, Green Coke is here. Hi. Dexterovsky says, oh, so I didn't miss anything. Sunday same as always. Yep. You didn't miss anything. Just me rambling and trying to fix shit. Green Coke, pro streamer hard at work, I hear. Oh, I'm not pro yet. I'm not getting a single dime out of it. But also I don't do it for that. I have a day job for that shit. This is just for pure love, man. So, I don't want this map. I don't know, for now it can be empty level, whatever. So, Chaos Modular Vehicles. What does Epic tells us about this? Let's see if there is a README file. And Green Cock says, wow, the self-roast. Nam. Yeah, I like self-roasting. Yeah, especially as, you know, when I work on a day-to-day basis with code and I do a lot of stupid errors, it helps, you know, with the tension. Okay, so let's see where this resides. Chaos Modular Vehicles plugins, Chaos Modular Vehicle content. Let's see if they have a README file for that shit. All engine data. Okay, can I just open it up, show an Explorer, but on the regular Explorer? I have. And it opened some stupid shit for me. Okay. Chaos Modular Vehicle. Do they have a README file? They don't. Mover plugin had a README file. So that's the thing. Green Coke says, hope you're all having a good day so far though. Yeah, I'm having a great day. I had a wonderful breakfast. It's been really alright. And how is your day going? How is your Sunday? How is the weather out there? Here it is windy and chilly, but sun came out, so everything's alright for me. Okay. UE5 Chaos Modular Vehicle. Well, let's see if they have some documentation online for that shit. And they do, so let's bring it up above. Green Cock says, was on the beach yesterday for the most of the day. Still a bit sore from the workout. Ah, okay, I get it. But the beach is nice. Being on the beach most of the day. I envy you. I envy you. It is not the beach weather out here where I live. At least yet. Okay, so they have a overview and they have a quick start. Let's turn both of those things on. Here's like a little introduction. Vehicles created with the vehicle system are based on skeletal mesh. Okay. Vehicles created with the modular vehicle systems are built by creating a hierarchy of geometry collection. Geometry collection, that shit is usually being used for distractions, at least in my experience. So, great. Under cluster union vehicle components, some new stuff. Okay, okay. Green Coke says, yeah, was there with the dog and throwing ball, etc. Oh, nice, nice. So you must have had a wonderful time. Nice, nice. Once again, I envy you. Okay, so replication support. Oh, do they have replication support? The modular vehicle system comes with the native support for the network physics component and the simulation replication mode. Holy shit, so it's already supposed to work with the multiplayer. We'll test that shit. Their own custom modules with interfaces for dealing with any additional network serialization that is required for re-simulation. You know, sounds wonderful. Sounds really wonderful. Simulation representation. The vehicle system uses one component to drive the entire vehicle simulation. Modular vehicle system is based on collection of separate simulation components that get assigned to a simulation tree. Oh my god, okay. The modules operate independent of each other, simulating their assigned geometry collection. Any number of simulation components can be added or removed from a vehicle, allowing for a wider variety of vehicle types. So you could say, I could have a car with 100 tires, 50 on each side, and it will work. Bold words, bold words. We'll see. Because on the last stream, at the end, I wanted just to turn it on and see if the input works, and the input wasn't working. So, you know, we'll see. Enable the Chaos Modular Vehicle plugin and examples. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so here's like a quick start, right? Enable the network settings. Create geom. Okay, so here's how you can create the whole vehicle on your own. Assigning inputs, blah, blah, blah. Animation. Some modules overview. Okay, okay, okay. Lots of data to stifle through. We will be slowly going through that, or maybe we'll be looking straight at the code. I'm not sure yet, but first, maybe let's find those examples. Here I have them under the engine plugins folder in the Chaos Modular Vehicle Examples content. If you don't see it in your content drawer or content browser, click on Settings and make sure that under the content panel, here you have Show Engine Content and Show Plugin Content. That will make sure that the folder that we are looking at for this particular plugin will be visible to you. Okay, we have vehicle examples content, but where are the levels? Levels are here. Okay, let's turn on the off-road test level basic. I have my gamepad. If I remember correctly, there was a gamepad support. So we will see. Let's see, let's see. Standalone? Yeah, let's try it with standalone. Right trigger is for throttle. And it doesn't work. My camera works, although it is reversed axis by default. Okay. Left, right doesn't work. Throttle doesn't work. Right out of the get-go, we have a problem. Right. That's some real shit. Maybe enabling those network settings will help, but I'll be honest, I don't know why they would help, because we're playing on a standalone. So no multiplayer. Yeah, but it wouldn't hurt turning that shit on. I clicked the wrong window. Project settings. And what were they saying here? Engine physics. engine, physics, and physics prediction experimental. Yep. Okay, so those two, right, should be on. And enable physics prediction, enable physics history capture should be toggled as true and true. And max supported latency prediction 1000. Resimulation error position threshold 10 and 4 units. Okay. Okay, everything is alright. Let's see if the input will work. Oh! It works! It fucking works! Great. It was keyboard input, but how about gamepad? It works as well. Something's going on weird with the freaking tires when they're moving. It's probably anti-aliasing on some other bullshit. It looks awful. But it works. And it says here that I can spawn different vehicles. Oh, some buggy. Okay. The tires look like ass right now. Dexterowski says, try switching to TSR. Yeah, I will in a second. I might as well try to do it right now. We see that the input is working. How the hell did we... I forgot how to do this. Anti-aliasing method. Oh! I have a bad news. It is TSR. Okay, maybe let's turn off all of the anti-aliasing. How's it right now? It's still fucking up. So it's not connected to anti-aliasing at all. Let's... I don't know. How about RNG DLSS? I cannot turn off DLSS like that. Okay. What about... It's probably not DLSS, because why would it be, but you know. Okay, I don't have DLSS on, I think. Okay, anti... Dexterowski says, yes, of course. Dexterowski says you must install plugin for DLSS. I forgot, because at the day job I have already installed it. And for those plugins, I didn't. For those projects, sorry. So, it's not DLSS. So, I have no freaking idea. If it's not anti-aliasing, I don't have any DLSS, no frame jarring or nothing. Something else must be fucked up with this. Which, you know, from my experience with Chaos, it's typical that for the first try, it just doesn't work that well when it comes to tires. But this buggy actually has 6 tires on 3 on each side. And I can go in reverse. Brake is left trigger and then in reverse. Okay. Actually, it steers quite nicely, I have to say. The feeling is quite alright. I'm steering the camera, so that's why it, you know, works like bullshit. Whoa! What I was saying about steering? But it's nice that I fell off. Fell off. I fell on my roof like that. Okay, what's underneath the free? Holy shit! I can fly with this weird flying buggy. And then can I land on the ground? I can. Whoa, 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 whoa. And my 2 tires fell off. Oh my god, this is so fucking cool. I can still save it. I can still save it. Shit. Okay, I have fun. Immediately I have fun with this shit. Oh, and just pure weird plane. Okay. Aircraft throttle up is right shoulder. That is cool. I wonder how those inputs work, really. And how the whole simulation works, etc. But that's cool. That's a cool vehicle. Okay, so what's underneath the 5 numpad? Okay, it is just a regular sports car. Ooh. Ooh, hovercraft. Holy shit, you can do this type of stuff with the modular vehicle? So basically, you know, we are looking at the Unreal version of Tears of the Kingdom. You just don't have it in the game, you have to assemble it with the, you know, vehicle assets, but you know. That's cool. That's a cool way to show you like, hey, not only regular flying things or things with the tires. Here is a hovercraft. But I wonder if those, you know, thingies on the back of this hovercraft are just pure animation, or do they actually take part in the simulation? I wonder. But the feeling is quite nice, I have to say. And do we have any more vehicles? No. But I can stock them. And they completely break apart, which is also nice. Okay, so I also want to see 2 players, listen server, new editor window. Let's see that and play. And let's play as client. Will it even work? Nope. We have such a desynchronization. Holy shit, look at that. Look at the amount of desynchronization. On client, I am sitting next to the server's car. And on server, you know, the client is there. And what happens if I start driving? Yeah, it's not multiplayer ready at all. What they were saying about replication? Do I have to enable anything more? No, it was just those things. And then it was how to create your own assets for Chaos Modular vehicles. And simulation, what? Replication support. Yeah. Doesn't look like it works. It's still, you know. What did they tag this plugin as? Experimental for sure, but version 1.0? Are you for real? Modular vehicles. Ah, no. Okay, Chaos Modular Vehicle as a plugin 0.1. Okay, makes sense. So I'm not giving them a hard time for that shit. And what about dedicated server? I'm sure I know the answer. Let's maybe change this whole car. Oh, okay. It works even differently than I thought. But let's park near the client. Maybe it works better for dedicated server for some reason. Nope. The desynchronization is huge. Here I am parked once again next to the guy. And let's go to here. The second client thinks that the original car didn't even freaking move. So multiplayer support, not really there for this version of it. So let's stick to the standalone, shall we? Okay, so maybe let's look first at one of those vehicles. How are they constructed? Dexterowski says it should work. Do you have async physics enabled? As far as I know, network prediction plugin only works with async physics. I think I should have had it turned on, but you might be right. Enable physics prediction. Enable physics, that's what they said, but what about async? Async physics sticks enabled. No, I don't have this turned on. Substep tick physics async. No, I don't have it. I don't have it. Good call, Dexterovsky. I was sure that... Okay. Maybe it will be working. Let's see with the async physics. I was so sure that I... no, let's move as client. Tick all. Even the navigation thing? Okay. Oh, you're right. I'm eating my own words. I'm eating my own words. It does work. Substepping also, I think. It works already, but I might also do that. So, the first thing they're missing from the documentation is they're telling you to turn physics prediction and physics history capture, but they didn't remind it, anyone, me included, and thanks to Dexterovsky we caught that. He reminded me that, you know, network prediction only works when you have async physics turned on. So, once again, engine, physics, async. Yeah, we can turn that shit on for everything connected to physics. Yep. Dexterovsky says, so I remember correctly. Yes, you did. 100% you did. Heads up, you did. 100 heads off to you. So, yeah. I'm eating my own words. It does work. You just need async physics for that. Yeah, it works actually quite nicely. Okay, let's spawn another vehicle maybe, and let's see how that shit will work out, and how flying vehicle will work out. Yeah, there is a delay, but you know, that's to be expected. But there's no desynchronization. So, yeah, you gotta have asynchronous. Oh, okay. I'm half eating my words, but you know, it is 0.1. So let's be all gentle here, shall we? Yeah, with the collision setup, you can still slip through, as we can see. And there might be some desync, which for racing might be a problem if you're supposed to have cars, you know. Wow, that's not what I want. That. Hello, focus. That's what I wanted. It might be a problem. Dexterovsky says, please check how it works with higher ping. Check it for me. Yeah, sure. I just wanted to see if flying is in any way, shape, or form. I haven't seen it. Okay, it's already like desynced into the oblivion. So, editor preferences, play. Enable network emulation, yes. Let's say everyone an average, which for my country's regular speed it would be bad, but you know, there are different internet providers out there. Let's see how it works with the so-called average profile. That's great. Nicely, nice. Desync. Immediate desync. Unfortunately, the synchronization is huge in here with the average. You see? Oh, both of them. And what happens if I want to move with this guy? I can't. I can't. Everything's messed up. So I'm a masochist. I want to also try the for so-called bad network conditions. Although I think we all know that what will happen. Immediate desynchronization. Immediate. So with the higher ping, or probably with any ping at all, it is not yet there. But it is 0.1, so let's not be too harsh. You know, for just testing purposes, it will work. But you gotta need to have those async settings ticked as enabled. Okay, let's look into how everything is constructed in here actually. Modular vehicle. Dexterovsky says, okay, so I think I should not use async physics yet for my game, but I will not be able to make cars. Yeah, I mean, at least not with chaos vehicles. Chaos modular vehicles. If you were to, you know, just write your own velocity basic movement component for your pawn that will just take velocity, some steering, etc. You probably would make it work, right? But it will be very karty and very arcadey, right? If you wanted to have a little bit more realistic vehicles based on physical simulation, then yeah. Not there yet, guys. Not there yet. Although I do wonder, because I think in Fortnite, especially Lego Fortnite, they do have some vehicles that are working online. Yeah, one of these days I need to do like a Fortnite stream, because I often I don't play Fortnite, but I reference based on my knowledge of the engine and talks with the Epic developers on Unreal Dev Fest that they use some of these things in Fortnite, but I never played them. So one day I need to just do like a dive, not in like, oh hey, let's play Fortnite and become a Fortnite streamer, but more like, hey, let's use the exact same, you know, plugin that they used in Fortnite and let's see how it works there, right? And then come back to the game and be like, okay, here's how it works in the regular Unreal Engine, right? That might be a stream. So yeah, let's take, I don't know, an off-road car. And let's look at it. Okay, so first of all, in the event graph, nothing happens that much, which is great, because if I saw a big exploded up graph, I would be grabbing my head and being like, what the fuck? But it is consumable that way. So on begin play, we are just adding mapping context. And for some reason, at the begin play, we are setting enable damage from collision on couple of body parts as false. Okay, I'm not sure why yet. Set invincible, always invincible. By the way, I'm watching Invincible on Amazon, newest season. Real good, I love it. Feels like the old Batman cartoon. Or Spectacular Spider-Man. It's really awesome. I recommend it if you like superhero animation. Okay, control inputs. When the enhanced input action throttle happens, it takes modular vehicle base component, vehicle sim component. Okay, so I will need to look into that. And takes input axis 1D throttle with the value. Steering, input axis 1D steering on the vehicle sim component, and brake in here, then reverse. Okay, so there is something called vehicle sim component. Where is this? Vehicle sim component, which is just some specific component that is a modular vehicle and has shitload of options. Input config, which is in which you have to type a name here and access to it. Okay, okay. Sure, sure, sure. And this is a C++ component, not blueprint. Okay, there's a velocity, nav mesh. Oh my god, vehicles driving on nav mesh. No, never, never, never think about this shit. At least for the player-based vehicles, right? Because for AI it might make more sense. But for player, no, no, please don't. Auto add overlapping box size, 500, 500. Requires controller for inputs. Makes sense. Once again, just like in mover component, we are dealing with the concept of input producer, which is kind of cool because, you know, your input may come from physical controller or from some behavior tree or whatever. Trace type, raycast or sphere cast. Okay, suspension trace. And you can customize the suspension trace collision response. Okay, linear damping, angular damping. Okay. So some stuff. Oh, and also has to have network physics component. No, nothing in here. Dexterowski says, gonna walk the dog, be right back. Oh, have a nice walk, man. Have a nice walk. Have a nice walk. Okay, so what we see here? What do we see here? We see that, okay, there's also camera input, which just adds controller yaw input, pitch input, etc., and changes the camera zoom. Okay, that's fine. But I see that the real meal of this whole thing is how is this thing set up, right? Because we have as a root component, cluster union vehicle component. Enable damage from collision. And it's set to block all. Does it have any mesh? No, not really. It is just there. Component replicates and shit like that. It has constraints. Okay, great. Then we have, okay, this was just a cluster union vehicle component. Then we have geometry collection component BL wheel, which is back left wheel, and it has vehicle simulation suspension. For some reason it is put way down here. I don't understand why, but maybe the offset of it doesn't mean anything, or maybe it does. And then there are some attributes of suspension: max raise, suspension max drop, spring rate, damping, suspension force effect, yada yada yada. Okay, and then we have vehicle sim wheel, which is also a geometry collection. No, so this, wait, only this was a geometry collection. Back left wheel. Then we have vehicle sim suspension component. Then we have another vehicle sim wheel component. So this is the component that simulates the wheel. This is the component that simulates suspension, wheel radius, wheel width. Okay, so these are the physical properties of a wheel. Okay, so that's how it was constructed. We have a bunch of geometry collections with those things, and the geometry collection, of course, has a rest collection which has our mesh, right? But it is in a form of geometry collection. Okay, so that's how it is being constructed. Every component in here has something like this when it is geometry collection, and then some sim components, wheel and suspension. There's a camera, front right, front left wheel, and then the body. The body is also geometry collection. Then it contains a chassis simulation component. Okay, so chassis or chassis, I don't know how to actually say it. Actually, let's see. Let's put it in Google.
Chassis. Chassis.
Chassis.
Chassis.
Chassis.
Chassis.
Chassis. Okay, so chassis. If you're a native English speaker and you think that Google just fucked me over because it's not pronounced chassis, then please tell me in the comments. I'm not a native English speaker, but that probably goes without saying when you hear my thick Slavic Polish accent. Okay, so vehicle sim chassis is here, and it has its own sim component, but it is just a sim component. It doesn't really deal with the collision because that's where the, if I understand it correctly, geometry collection deals with it, right? Although no, it says that it blocks all. So how the fuck does it know what kind of volume it deals with? Area meters squared, drag coefficient, density of medium. We'll look into all of this shit. Then we have vehicle sim engine component. So the whole engine inside of the body also has its own sim component. Torque curve, okay. Max torque, max RPM. Engine idle RPM, okay, so it features like some physical engine simulation. How does wheel know how they are connected to this engine? That's fascinating. Then we have, oh, by clutch probably, and transmission, of course. We have a clutch and transmission components, simulation components. They don't have too much they don't really have too much parameters. Oh no, transmission has forward ratio, free, and reverse ratio, a little bit slower. Final drive ratio, change up RPM, change down RPM, gear change time, gear hysteresis time, transmission efficiency, transmission type, automatic. Oh, we could set it to manual. I hate driving manual. I love automatic cars. At least for driving in the city when you are, you know, in a goddamn queue. Auto reverse. Oh, I don't know what that means. Actually. And I have no explanation. Okay. So that's how it is constructed. You have a base vehicle component, union vehicle component. Then we have a bunch of geometry collections that are simulating physical body parts, and we have simulation components for each part of the vehicle: wheels, engine, chassis, clutch, and transmission. So that's, if it is truly as easy as it looks, we could create a vehicle component right out of a new fucked up vehicle from the components that they provided in here easily. So I guess that's how they built this monstrosity. They created this cluster union vehicle component. They have right wing, left wing, and those have aerofoil component for simulation, control rotation axis, area, camber, max controlled angle, stall angle. Shit, I just realized I know nothing about simulating aircraft. I really do know nothing. I never really pondered this. Drag multiplier. So if, for example, if I was hired and signed, or at my day job right now, I would be like, hey, yeah, you know, you'll be taking care of aircrafts. I'll be like, I know nothing about them. They'll be like, well, get to studying. And that would be my job. I would have to sit down, probably download a couple of research papers about, aircraft simulation, or look at those example in here and try to find the best way for the time budget that I would be given to come up with something and to understand how it all works. That's the part of being gameplay programmer. Sometimes you're being thrown into the area that you never even considered, so you hit the books. Or in today's world, I would probably ask like Copilot or ChatGPT to provide me a list of, research papers and books that I should read for that. Or maybe lectures or whatever, right? Because it's a little bit, I use LLMs more like a Google Plus. Like it just can search for results a little bit better than just me going through Google and sorting through results, right? Okay, so it is a type of wing, and there can be rudder, elevate. Ooh. Wing, air fix. There's a type of airfoil. Okay. So we have those airfoil components. We have a tail cone, which is just a geometry collection. Nose, that is also a geometry collection. We have our wheels. We have our chassis, and chassis, as the goddamn Google told us. Thruster, which I have no idea what it is, but it has to be connected with the aircraft simulation, right? It has to just be a jet engine, I believe, and vehicles. And vehicle sim component. Vehicle default producer. More inputs connected to it, because we also have a pitch input. I wonder how those inputs translates. Control inputs. The throttle is not connected at all. Pitch is connected. Yaw is connected. Reverse, handbrake. Throttle gets added every tick. Okay, makes sense. Throttle up, throttle down. Okay, makes sense. That if you, enter the plane, it would just, you turn on the engine, the thruster engines, the jet engines, and the propeller starts working, and you just go, right? You can either wind up or wind down, and that's what this input is all about. Okay, and that's how it is constructed. I wonder how they did this hovercraft. Invincible, okay. Control inputs, they do feature regular throttle. It looks, the same here. So all of the detail lies in setting up this cluster union vehicle, I guess. The geometry collections, they have suspension, and then they have actual rudder. Where is this rudder? This is that thing. This is called rudder. Okay. And this is airfoil, but it is a type of rudder. Okay, so you can have this. You can have this. And then they have suspension. So like the wheels just have suspension. That's it. No tire simulation. The wheel is just being rotated, and it's the rudder that actually provides the vehicle simulation. Oh my god, that's wonderful. You can get really creative with this shit. And you do have a thruster component and chassis component. That's wonderful. And when you have a rudder, it's like offset, force, control, rotation, axis, area, camber. I don't know what camber means. And it's a rudder. Okay. And what about in our aircraft, modular aircraft? I wanted to see elevator. That's what I wanted to find. It is the elevator type. and it is air. It is the tail, right? It is that shit and that shit. So it will go rotate. Huh. And that's how you go up and down. It's really, the more sim components they add, and when it comes to airfoil, types of airfoil components you add, you really don't have to code anything of your own, I guess. That's wonderful. That's really wonderful. I wonder how you construct from zero such stuff. We will try to attempt that right at this moment. There is this documentation here that is supposed to show you how you go from how you create geometry collection, how you create a union cluster vehicle pawn blueprint, how do you build the structure, how you add sim components. I want to do two things. First, I don't want to deal with creation of geometry collection at the beginning. This will be the second thing I want to try. Like, create a vehicle completely with my own geometry collection assets, right? But for now, I want to create a vehicle just from the geometry collection assets that they provided. So we'll be omitting, at least at the beginning, this point, documentation, and going straight to the cluster union vehicle pawn blueprint. But I need a quick break. I need a small little quick break. So I'll be back in like a couple of minutes, and we will try to build our own vehicle. First regular car, and then I will try to go fucking crazy. And then I will try to create another third vehicle, but with my own geometry collection meshes. We'll see what will happen there. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes. What's up? What's up? I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Let me unloop the music. Yeah. Green Coke says during my break. I'm back from the break. Sorry it took so long. Green Coke says, enjoy the break. I had a sudden urge to work out a bit. Have a good workout, my buddy. Have a good workout. I hope you feel energized. I need to drink some tea. So, we're back on the shit. Let's do what? As they said, let's create a completely new pawn blueprint, right? As they kinda say. We will put on hold creating our own geometry collection assets. Let's just create the vehicle with what they already providing. At first, let's just learn how to build them. Build a regular four-wheeled car. So maybe I will start, you know, enumerating a little bit. That's interesting. And if I turn it up from here, because it's turned on. Okay. So the first point of order, and let me maybe enlarge it a little bit. The first point of order will be create four-wheeled car with provided geom collections. That will be the first point of order. Second point of order will be just to learn how to construct those modular vehicles. The second thing will be create weird ass vehicle and see if it works, right? And then we will go back to the point of let's create our own geom collections and build vehicle with it. Let's see that, shall we? So we'll be taking care of this at the moment. Okay, so we need to create a new blueprint class and search for modular vehicle cluster pawn. And cast front wheel, what? Okay, but that's the first point that they tell us to do. So we will go to our own content, new folder, modular vehicles, R&D. Okay. Oh my god, my neighbor is smoking something right now. It's nasty. Holy shit. Okay, we are searching for modular vehicle cluster pawn. We're selecting that. BP basic four-wheel car. And it automatically, if we have modular vehicle cluster pawn, it automatically spawns vehicle sim component. I wonder how hard it would be to create your own sim component. And it automatically adds PC network physics component. Let's take a quick peek into code of modular vehicle cluster pawn, shall we? What does it include? Game framework and core minimal, and it has a forward declaration of U cluster union vehicle component and U modular vehicle base component. Okay. And it is inside, of course, the plugin of Chaos Modular Vehicle. it has the object pointer to cluster union vehicle component and vehicle sim component, which funnily enough, oh no, both of those are exposed. Okay. And in code, the only thing that it truly does is just creates those components and sets cluster union as vehicle, then creates vehicle sim component and sets its cluster union vehicle component. Vehicle sim piggybacks off the cluster union component and its events. Then sets the remote role for backwards compatibility. Okay, replicates and replicating movement. And that's it, really. All the details are probably hidden inside the cluster union vehicle and modular vehicle base. Has some sockets, and that's kinda it. And let's take a quick peek at modular vehicle base component. That's where the devil lies in the details. It is a pawn movement component, so it's already inheriting from nav movement component and from regular movement component. Okay, good to know that it is a part of that inheritance family. So it will be overriding those methods. We have set inputs, yeah, blueprint callables, lots of other stuff. Okay, we'll dive deeper into a code a little bit later. For now, let's just try to see if the documentation is right, because it already omitted the thing about the async physics that Dexterowski was talking about, right? So let's go with that. Okay, we created a new pawn blueprint, build the vehicle structure and the blueprint. Now that you have created the modular blah 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 blah, add geometry collection components for each of the vehicle pieces by dragging each geometry collection asset into the components panel under the cluster union vehicle component. Use the viewport to position the parts so they sit in the correct position relative to one another. For accuracy, it may be better to enter the precise location for pieces into details panels of geometry collection component. This is particularly important for the wheels, as if they are not perfectly symmetrical, the simulation might not drive in a straight line. The convention is X forward, Y right, Z up. That's kind of an important information, because probably I would just eyeball it and then be debugging why the fuck it's not working correctly. Alright, so now that we know that, our probability of fucking up got a little bit, is a little bit smaller thanks to that information. Okay, let me just open up the cold beverage this time. The 0% non-alcoholic beer, which is basically a lemonade in my country. They are so refreshing. So full of sugar as well, so don't drink them too often. That's what I tell myself. Okay, so let's add... oh, there's another point in here. In the details panel, under the chaos physics, clustering, enable chaos physics, but in the details panel of each one of the geometry collections, or in the details panel of the cluster union vehicle component. Chaos physics, clustering, enable force, update active transforms. If you don't do this, then the pieces that fall off the vehicle will follow the main actor around once they come to rest. This is due to optimization that it will stop updating the transforms when the object is not moving. Ordinarily, this is fine if the geometry collection has its own actor. However, here we are parented to a shared moving actor. Okay. When using one wheel model for entire vehicle, what the fuck? When using one wheel model from the entire vehicle, you might want to flip the wheels on one side of the vehicle for the wheels to look correct. This involves adding 100 back degree rotation to the Z rotation axis. The flipping of the axis will also require a change in the next type of the guides when you set up the simulation components associated with these parts. Okay, sure. So let's start with adding body, I guess, for the car. Let's save that stuff. Save when compile on success is turned on. What do they have for us? Geometry collection. Only this? This is the whole thing. Okay, we were supposed to drag in geometry collections. So let's do it. This is our chassis. Yeah, let's build the, rebuild the off-road car. At least we will have something to look at if we mess up in the setup. And that's how we will learn how to set up a little bit more. Right, okay, let's use this tire right now. Do they have to be... No, they are like independent. And is it true for this? Yeah, they are kind of independent. Okay. So... yeah. We have one main... It's funny, they called it body. We will leave the name as it is. Off-road tire. We are adding this one, but not here, just here. Can I just move it down? No. Okay, whatever, I don't care. And it is in here, and it is incorrect. So they said, okay, let it be front left, right? So let's move it to the front by 80, 100, 140, 150, and to the left minus 50, minus 80. Is it correct? Probably. So now we should save it, duplicate it, right? And put it into 80, right? Right now it should be perfectly symmetrical. And yeah, let's take this one, duplicate it as well. And let's just move it. It probably won't be, let's put it into 0. Yeah, it's not super symmetrical here, right? So it won't be just minus 160, or will it be? Not really, but we'll, okay, I should probably move it even further to the, with the X axis. So minus 120. And I should move it up a little bit, like by 60 or 40, 40. It still looks a little bit detached, but so maybe minus 120. Okay, now let's take back this car. Okay, it will be... Omni Nathan says, hello, hello! How are you doing? How is your Sunday going? Mine is going well. Digging deeper into Chaos Modular vehicles, building my own vehicle from geometry collections right now. And how is your day going? What are you doing right now? First of all, let's duplicate. It is 40 in the z-axis. Great. And it is... Omni Nathan says, I'm doing horrible today. Thank you for asking. Oh, I hope it will be better for today's. And you will feel a bit better. About to work on games. Oh, that's nice. Nice way of taking your mind off of things. Green Coke is back. Hi. How was your workout? Omni Nathan, what are you going on? What are you working? What you will be working on today with your games? What is the problem that you are right now trying to overcome, or maybe you're producing some assets or something? 40 degrees up, 40 degrees up. It's not 40 degrees up, it's 40 units up, 120. And we moved this shit back by 40, so 120 as well. Yeah, it's great that they added into the documentation a part about maintaining it via goddamn details panel, because I would eyeball it and fuck up everything. Rinko says good about the workout. It's nice weather, so I go outside a lot. Shame to not to go. Yeah, you're 100% right. You were jogging. Then Green Coke says, because they feel stiff from yesterday, so a nice little soft jog is nice. I'm training for Hulk legs. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, nice for you, man. Nice for you. It's good to work out a little bit. It's good to work out a little bit. Says me who doesn't work out that much. But right now, the season for bike driving, cycling and stuff, you know, is starting here in my country. So I'm hoping to do a little bit more with that. And also, I've been not every Saturday, but every second Saturday, I try to go for a little bit of swimming. But it's still not enough, I think. Greencock says, I've been slacking in the winter time. Yeah. Yeah. Me too. It's more than slacking. It's, for me, it's, whew. It's bad. Okay, and 120 on this side, and we got perfectly symmetrical tires that are not attached visually by anything, but should be working in a simulation. Greencock says, I feel a bit sloppier than before the winter, so I gotta reshape. Yeah, gotta dive back in hard. Yeah. I'll be honest, my peak physical form was when I was 19. No shock, right? That when we are teenagers, we are better than when we are 30, right? But the thing is that in high school, we had two buddies in my class that were playing at semi-pro football soccer teams, right? And because of that, there was a lot of pressure for the rest of the class to perform. And we were playing soccer and training 4 times a week or something. And after 2 years of that, on the 3rd year of high school, I was like, shit, I feel, you know, physically amazing. And we kept this up for the whole high school, and even a year after high school, at the 1st year of university, and then gradually, you know, doing less physical stuff until right now we have to like make time in calendar for all the physics, you know, for all the workout we can get, right? So I know if I could just have 4 times a week 2-hour solid workout or playing soccer, whatever, I would be in peak physical shape. But you know, adult responsibilities and all. You have to be really fortunate enough to be able to train 4 times a week for 2 hours if you have lots of responsibilities, right? So anyone who has that ability, my hats off to you. And everyone who trains, my head's off to you as well. It's a great freaking feeling. Yeah, and every time, during the summer, I also feel like I'm always like, okay, moving more and more, some cycling, some swimming, going up, and I'm right at the cusp of like, okay, I could actually start getting back to shape, and then winter comes in Poland, and it's like, right back into sloppiness. Is it the same for you, Green Coke, or anyone in here? Green Coke says, if you need to motivate yourself to train, it's hard. If it comes out of natural feeling, it's super easy to stay in shape. Yeah, I agree. I remember when I have way more, free time back in like high school or university, even trying to get back in shape. If I was doing the things that I enjoy to, participate in any type of movement or sports, it was easy. If I was forcing myself to do training that, for example, I completely didn't like, and I had to motivate myself, it was harder. But at least it was still, a good workout, right? Right now, the struggle is to find time for this shit. And there are lots of other responsibilities that I have to take care of, right? And it's a constant juggle between stuff, right? Okay, when do I get to take care of this? And when do I get to take care of that, etc., etc.? Greencock says, you only need 5 minutes a day. Of like hard workout or what kind? Because 5 minutes I could probably slip in. Do you have anything in particular in mind? Maybe 10, put on shoes, Greencock says, and then run around the block to get started. Maybe. Maybe that's an idea. I also was thinking like, for example, taking a bicycle instead of like going to the nearest shop to quickly buy groceries. If I have time, maybe, take a bicycle and drive to the store a little bit farther and get back to it. Like this type of cheats, right? When you're still fulfilling your responsibility as an adult and still doing something physical, that type of shit. Green Coke says, yeah, you don't need hours to run at start. You warm yourself up with slow runs. Eventually, the body wants more. Oh yeah, that's true. I still remember, like, I was back when I was younger, like I was aching for, like, hey, yeah, I need more. That's a wonderful feeling. Sometimes I have dreams of feeling like that. Okay, anyway, we put down our body, we put down our tires. Do we need something more for our vehicle? I don't think so. Oh, and the same components will be in a second, simulation components. Greencock says, yeah, the push. Also, I remember when I liked to work out or play soccer or doing whatever, I'd like to hype myself up with some Dragon Ball Z music. It's stupid, but it fucking works. It was like, yeah, I'm hyping myself. Okay, let's go, right? That was also a wonderful feeling. It's like 2 free tracks before, engaging in the sport, and I'm ready to go. Okay, so we built that, and in details panel, and that clustering, force, update active transforms. Okay, chaos physics. So is it for the cluster union? Or I don't see force update active transforms. Is there something like this here? No. So it is probably in each and every one of those components. Yes, clustering, force update active transforms. So let's toggle that on everything. Okay, so we have geometry collections set up. When using one wheel model for the entire vehicle, you might want to flip the wheels on one side of the vehicle for wheels to look correct. Okay, so they are saying to us that we should flip in the z-axis. Or we cannot flip it and then change the next step of the guide when you set up simulation components associated with these parts. Also, on the topic of training, Green Coke, do you listen to any music while you're running, or are you soaking in the sounds of the environment around you? What is your personal preference? No music, Green Coke says. So soaking in the sounds of the surroundings. Yeah, I get you. I remember Green Coke says, I don't like feeling of the stuff dangling or in my ears. Yep. Yep, only keys. Yep. I remember when I, in high school, were, also trying to run and also, of course, playing football. Any kind of anything on my body felt like, I don't want to have this right now. I just want to, be here and engage with the activity, right? Only key, Green Coke says, on the keys, they are my sound, the rhythm of the keys in my pocket. Nice association that the keys are creating a rhythm for you when you're running. That's, yeah, actually, if I will ever work on a game when, you have a character running, I might think about that to add it as the additional detail, sound detail, to make it feel better. That's really, yeah, I never thought about it in that way. Huh. Thanks for inspiration. Greencock says it gives a nice perspective. Yeah, I also I remember I tried at the beginning to run around with the headphones in when I was younger, but every time I came back, I felt like, okay, physically I feel great with running, but mentally I felt overstimulated and a little bit tired. And when I stopped doing that, I felt way better. Like my ears were actually, resting. My brain was resting because nothing was blasting into my ears. Only like, for the quick warm-up or before even going outside of the house, blast like 3 songs from Dragon Ball Z and then just pure silence, right? Green Code, definitely in the game, yeah. I wonder if this will be a part of GTA 6. Those kind of details, because I remember playing Tears of the Kingdom, Zelda. The one sound that I like the most is when I have, like a sword, a shield, a bow on the back of the main character, and when I'm picking up the speed while running, I hear the clanking of those things attached to the back of my character, and it feels really nice. It feels like, I'm lacking the word, but maybe kinetic, like real, physical. Greencock says, I love it when I have it when I'm biking around. I usually have the last song in my mind that I listened to, and it's on repeat, because bike is so silent. That is also true. The last song that you hear probably will be on repeat, right? I experienced the exact same thing. Speaking of moving, let's add simulation components to our car, shall we? Simulation components add simulation behaviors to the geometry collections. For example, if you want geometry collection to behave like a wheel, you need to add a wheel component. So that's what we will do. The hierarchy of the simulation components is very important. The simulation components should be a child of the parent geometry collection. For example, a vehicle sim component must be under the geometry wheel model. Of course, makes sense. Greencock says, funny how we exercise the same a bit. You gotta do it more by the sound of it. Go, you got this. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, there are lots of things that, I have to sit down and arrange the calendar around, or my timetables, etc., to do just a little bit of workout. Yeah, I definitely, it's one of my on the list, like to figure out how to do it better. It would really, help both physically, mentally. It's always helping, right? I love it. Green Coke says, if you can sit on your ass, you can run around with your ass. I love that saying and I love that attitude. I love that attitude. It's a nice way to put it. The simulation uses the transform of the component to locate where the forces should be applied from, and also to turn off the simulation for that part if it is broken off. The parent-child relationship of the simulation component themselves is also important. The parent-child relationship of the engine clutch transmission indicates the flow of the torque between modules. Green Coke says ultimate power. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, like I remember, I still have memories of the feelings that I had when I was still like heavily playing football. Like this elation, this pure physical happiness just playing football. And I was like, shit, if I could, I would be playing on the daily basis, right? If I didn't have to go to work and, you know. In my perfect world, everyone would have every day at least 2-3 hours to engage in this sport activity that they want, right? And it would be wonderful. The parent-child, okay, to add simulation components to the geometry collection, follow these steps. Add a vehicle sim suspension component under each of the geometry components that represents a wheel. Add the vehicle sim components. Okay, yeah, of course. The wheel goes under the suspension. Otherwise, it will be a weird ass fucking vehicle. Sim engine component under the vehicle chassis, as Google corrected me. Geometry collection component. Sim clutch, of course. Clutch under the engine and transmission under the clutch. Makes perfect total fucking sense. Change all the simulation parameters in the detail panel as appropriate for your vehicle. If it is possible to change parameters on multiple wheel components simultaneously, then any changes you make in the detail panel will apply to all of the selected components. If a wheel component has been rotated in the editor to make it look right, 180 degrees rotation around Z, then the wheel will simulate backwards unless the reverse direction is reverse direction property is checked. Okay. Let's just click through all of this shit, right? As they said it. So, for this tire, we need to add sim. And it will be suspension. And under this suspension, it will be sim wheel, if I understand correctly. And the same shit happening here. Oh, it added it in a completely bad way. So let me just click it by hand quickly. Suspension. Sim wheel. I haven't added it here. Suspension. Wheel. This is it. And we got one more tire. Sim. Vehicle sim wheel. Okay, yeah. Tire, 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 and tire. We didn't add the anything to the body. So the way it should go, it should be engine, clutch transmission, right? Engine clutch transmission, yeah. And yeah, chassis. This is such a hard word to say if you're a non-native speaker. Chassis. It's probably from French or something. I don't know. Sim. Not some, sim. And let's add the chassis. Or whatever. And then engine. And then we add the clutch transmission, yeah. First we need to have a clutch. And then we are transmitting. Transmission. Okay. Sim chassis, sim engine, clutch, transmission. It looks alright. The parameters are set to default. And we will stay at default for now. We'll be playing around with that shit in a second. We didn't rotate our wheels, so we don't have to do that. Now we have to define vehicle inputs and we'll be good to go if I understand it correctly, right? We already have some vehicle inputs. First of all, let's switch level because we have everything set up in here. So let's create new level, open world, create. Yeah, we have this, right? Okay. So now inputs. I think they already have those things set up correctly in there. So on the vehicle simulation component, add 5 array members to the vehicle input section if they do not already exist and fill them out in the detail palette. Okay, so it is that input config. We don't have anything. And yeah, let's do it as they say. Steering. Hell yeah, and it will be axis 1 dimension float. Without input modifier, right? Here we have throttle, right? Also axis 1 dimensional float. Here we will have, if I understand it, brake, right? So we are recreating all of it, this shit from scratch. On the topic of sports, did you guys see the newest game from Slow Clap Rematch? I so want to play the beta. I even got the keys, but it was during the time where in Poland there is a holiday. So I was away and I couldn't play it, but I am so eager to play the rematch. It looks like a real cool alternative towards FIFA or FC or whatever they called it. I'm really looking forward to playing it. And of course Doom comes out in a couple of days. Then Sea of Stars DLC for free. Handbrake, digital bull, reverse digital bull. Okay, I think we got all the inputs. And yeah, compile it. Sure. And then I wonder if it will show that we need to also set up the input for the controller. They don't, but I know that we have to do it. So basically, yeah, I will turn all of that shit off. And we have to go into inputs. And we are using throttle. We are using steering. We are using reversing. We are using brake. We don't use handbrake, right? Oh no, we do use handbrake. I forgot. Yeah, so we are using, of course, handbrake and brake. And if I understand it correctly, right now we need to just call vehicle sim component with the specific values. Great. So we are taking vehicle sim component. Yeah, let's reorder those around. So everything that is connected to the one-dimensional input will be here, etc., etc. And set input axis 1D. It will be copied like 3 times, right? Let's attach that 3 times. And this and an action value. Yeah, a lot of clicking through. I wonder if it would be easier to just do it in code, I'll be honest. But on the other hand, I think the whole idea of those modular vehicles is to, you know, just put those geometrical action, set them up, play around with variables, set up quick input, let's go, right? You're supposed to modularly create this without touching code. So clicking through a couple of links like that is not a problem. Is there any game that you are looking forward to in today's year? Because for me it's for sure Rematch, Sea of Stars DLC, Doom. And I don't remember the rest of them. I have shit memory for this kind of deal. Set input bool also here. Set input bool. And in here we also have, why did I copy that? Okay, it is done. Action value here and in here. And now we just have to put in the names. Throttle, brake, steering. Reverse. The same name that I have inputted in here. Steering, blah, blah, blah. And handbrake. Okay, so you might think that, yeah, our inputs are set up, but not really, because look at that. Configure input. That's the shit that we have to do also. So let's copy that, shall we? The logic of that is we need to take a player controller and actually bind our mapping context. There's a mapping context already here. Let me just copy it into our stuff. And let's change the name of it. Modular vehicle R or 4-wheel car. Input mapping context. Input mapping context. IMC. If you play Titanfall 2, IMC might mean something completely different for you. And that's what we have to reference here. Thank you. Now it will actually work because our mappings will be registered and then our enhanced input will be triggered. So another thing that they are missing from here is like, hey, at least for now, it doesn't look like they are showing that you need to yeah, they don't show that, hey, you need to also map your inputs correctly, right? And register it. So that's another missing key from here. But whatever. For now. Optional, set up a camera and a spring. Oh yeah, of course we need the camera. Yeah, of course I need the camera in here. Of course. I forgot about this. And I need to be... Yeah, okay, it is somewhere. I need to pull it back. No, back. And here. Put it up. And rotate it a little bit in the... Hello? Yes. In this axis. Maybe pull it up a little bit more. Yeah, I'm not sure if it will be great view, but whatever. And if I am correct, I should start I don't give a fuck about animation right now. I don't have a skeletal mesh, really, so fuck that. Create a modular vehicle game mode blueprint. I can, yeah, sure. I can. Wait, what? I can create a quick. game mode for sure. Game mode base, game mode modular vehicles R and D, and blah 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 blah. Here we will just take the pawn class of basic for wheels. Default pawn class. Yeah, I think. What else should you do here? Do they say anything about this? No. Default pawn class. Save. Yeah. And select it in world settings as my game mode. Where the hell is game mode? Here. GM modular vehicle. Okay, great. So now, yeah, let me also save this level. Save current level as. Vehicles R and D. Yeah, let's save it. Now the moment of truth. Let's play a standalone, the moment of truth that we all been waiting for. It doesn't work. It just does not work. Great. Freaking great. Okay. What is wrong with this picture? It looks like I'm not even possessing the car at all. Okay. So what will we do in this case? We will troubleshoot it. Here is a overview of modules. Couple of example vehicles that could be created. Arcade vehicle, thruster wheel suspension. Yeah, that is true, actually. Aircraft, hovercraft. Module setup parameters, also parameters. And yeah, okay, so we are on our own in here. Let's try to fix that shit. First of all, let's see if we even are possessing the correct thing, right? So when we have begin play, let's place a breakpoint with F9, play. We are looking at the correct thing. We are adding mapping context correctly. And now it suddenly freaking works. But look at the way our wheels are working. That's lovely. Yeah, let's make this window a little bit bigger. I don't know why it wasn't processing it correctly beforehand. I'll be honest, sometimes in Unreal Engine it happens for me, even at the day job. When I press play, nothing gets processed. It looks like something else fucked up. And I press a breakpoint and suddenly it works. It's the quirk of the editor. And let's try to drive. Yeah! That's the car I would take a credit for. Oh my god. Okay. I think I know where I might have a problem. Because I think the access type, there was something about the access in the documentation, right? Greencock says that breakpoint fix, lol. This. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it does happen. I would love to be able to have a count for amount of times when I think something broke. I put a breakpoint in, suddenly it works, and it works forever. It doesn't break anymore, and I'm like, editor, what the fuck? Okay, I think I must have missed a key. Ah, yes, of course. I know what is wrong, or at least I have a strong belief. You see the simulation wheel component, right? Its axis is in Y. So the wheel is turning in that axis. Or should I say, but it, yeah, it's turning like that. So it won't be driving. So I guess I should change it, if I understand it correctly, to axis type X. Makes a lot of fucking sense on all of those. So let's select all of those. And also I forgot, if I see correctly, I forgot suspension on one of the tires. How the hell did I... Yeah, so sim wheel, and sim wheel. All of them x-axis. Now, will we be driving or will be messing up? Yeah, tires are moving, but the car isn't. That's great. There's also one other thing missing that I haven't really done. The camera input. I might as well, use that. Okay, even the graph in here. And do I have my input action look in here? Yeah, I do have it. Okay. So can I at least move camera around? For some reason, no. Will breakpoint fix this shit? No, because I haven't... No, target is pawn. So I have no idea why it's not happening, really. Okay, but that's the least of my problem. The vehicle that I built doesn't move. Which is kind of fucking funny. So let's compare the values of my four-wheel car that I built, right, on the details panel with what Epic built, right? Let's see what I missed, or maybe is not explained in the documentation correctly. Let's see. What the hell happened? That's not the window I wanted. Yeah, that's the window I wanted to look at. Okay, so suspension. Let's look at the suspension. The values are a little different. Here's suspension max race 5, 30. The values are a little bit different, but there's nothing alarming in here. Or at least I don't see it. Okay, so wheel. And it is back left, so let me select back left as well. Handbrake enabled. I can do that as well. ABS enabled. And here it is not. Okay, let's turn that off. And traction. They have traction control? God damn. Okay. And reverse direction. But I didn't turn around my wheels, so I thought that maybe it is not needed. But sure, let's freaking do it. And the rest of it looks very similar. Okay. So I guess also for back right, I should do the exact same shit, right? Back right doesn't have a reverse direction. Wait, what? Ah, yeah, because it wasn't rotated, because it's on the right side. Okay. I'm turning off traction and ABS. I'm enabling handbrake. Cornering stiffness. I can change the stiffness to 80 because 1000 seems a little bit much. The rest of it, yeah, maybe friction should be 1. Wheel width could be... No, the wheel radius, etc. Let's leave it the same. But the friction and cornering stiffness, let's change it. For all of the wheels, actually. Beep, 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 beep. And I also need this one. So it will be friction 1, cornering 80. Handbrake enables on all of them. Disabled, disabled. Okay. Is there anything else that I should kind of look into? The front wheel is the one with the, yeah, of course, steering enabled. That makes sense. Steering enabled, of course. And traction control. Okay. And front left. Of course, reverse direction. And traction control, yeah, we can have that. And steering enabled. Oh, and I enable handbrakes on my front wheels. Okay. And they didn't. I'm not sure if that's the problem why I'm not driving. Wait, hold up. Why my driving doesn't work, but at all. Yeah, direction is reversed. What else should I do in here? I think that's all. And let's try to drive once again. It probably won't work. Yeah, like... whatever happens with my tires, and my input doesn't work at all. Okay. Put this in here, put this in here. None of this shit is really working, and it is aligned perfectly. 120, minus 120. Yeah, everything looks alright. They reversed stuff 180 for the left wheel, so I can do the same shit. From the whole left side. Let's compile it, save it, let's play it, and have a laugh together. Yep. But at least steering input started working. It's just that my car doesn't drive at all. And I don't understand why yet. Okay, at least now I know that at least my car correctly fell on the ground. But then nothing really happens. I can move my tires, rotate them. And I can easily do 4x4 driving, but what could be the problem in here? Yeah. Everything is... There's like a damage threshold. Ah, yeah, this is geometry collection. Okay, so that's something that they did set up. Okay, let's compare the setup of the cluster union vehicle between their vehicle and my vehicle. Do they have anything? I don't have simulate physics on my cluster union vehicle, so that was the first thing. And that's kind of it when it comes to differences between that. And what about my vehicle sim component? Yeah, let's once again compare it like side by side. Angular damping. Yeah, I can't put an 0.5, but I don't think that angular damping with the value of 0.5 is why my car doesn't drive at all. The rest of the variables look fine. It doesn't look like I omitted something crucial. Suspension collision trace is put to block and ignore on vehicle. And how it is in my case. Yeah, it is also block on everything, ignore for vehicle. Vehicle default input processor, so like, what the hell? Does it use nav mesh actually? No, not really. Component does replicate. Trace type, suspension. Green Coke says, I've been picking ChatGPT's brain, mainly about playing UI animations. Oh, in what engine? My experience with asking any LLM about stuff is that for Unreal Engine it was mostly miss or hit, but asking like more general questions and asking for links, especially to like good sources, it was really, working well. But sometimes it was hallucinating so much. Then Green Coke asks, how are wheels doing here? Badly, they do not make car go. So it means right now I'm on the Flintstone level of technology. I need to put feet down and move the car in that way. Green Coke says Unreal C++ is a lot different, I guess, than Nodes. So for playing UI animations, ChatGPT is working out for you. And what kind of UI animations are you playing? I wonder. Right now I'm trying to, just go variable for variable between different components to see if I'm missing maybe some crucial component variable that I didn't check or didn't look at or whatever, really. So that's what I'm trying to establish right now. Like, what the hell did I mess up. Suspension trace complex. It all kind of looks the same, really. Vehicle default input producer. So why does my car do not move at all compared to their own car? Network physics doesn't have anything connected to it. Okay, let's go. Let's chase the chassis and the engine, right? And there, shit. Come on. Put it in here. Basic four-wheel car in here. Greencock says, it's been working every time I ask it something, but I only ask it when I'm stuck or don't know rarely nowadays. Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, asking it if you're stuck, ain't nothing wrong with that, right? Even it will hallucinate a little bit of the answer. If it points you into the right direction, it is still, you know, a positive net value, right? Okay, so I have their chassis, or however you are supposed to say it. The exact same values. No input config. Everything the same. Block all on everything. Does not simulate physics. Everything looks in order in here. Engine. Let's look at the engine. Did I fuck up something here? Torque curve is a little different, but whatever. Animation offset. Everything looks alright. So clutch. Let's compare clutch simulation components variables. So what kind of UI animation you're trying to achieve? I wonder. Vehicle sim clutch. Let's compare those values. As you can see, I was trying to just follow their example, kind of word for word, and I even used their geometry collections just to eliminate the error on creation geometry collection on my end, and to learn how to build those vehicles. And for now, wheels are turning, car is not moving for some reason. So there's the thing, and input works wonky. So I don't know. Clutch strength is 1, both in their component and in mine. Brake and transmission. Maybe I'm missing something in the transmission game. They have only 1 forward ratio. Alright, let's delete that shit then. Yeah, let's put it in 3. Final drive ratio, yeah, we can put it as 4. Why not? Everything is basically, the rest of it is the same. Auto reverse, etc. Automatic transmission type. Yeah, everything else looks correct. From this sort of thing. What about these suspensions? This is back left wheel. Maybe I should rename this also BL for better understanding. And actually look at the suspension axis. The values are a little bit different, but it shouldn't make my car not drivable, I guess. Although there are different, there is like a location difference in here. But it has the same location difference as mine does. I don't understand why, but it does. Does it get moved? Minus 60, minus. Huh. That's weird. Okay, whatever. Back left wheel. Suspension axis is the exact the same. I mean, as it should be. What about, is there like some other? No, there is no like collision component or anything like that with it. Looks alright. Okay, back right wheel, which is this. They rename it to back right. Sorry, I missed the question, but I was asking if I could reuse play animation node multiple times in the same frame to play different animations. And I can. Great. Great. Yeah, I think there was a change in Unreal. I don't remember from which version to what version, when I saw that you could reuse some node multiple times, maybe even with the couple of components hooked up, and it used to be an error hooked up to one node, and now certain nodes are able to deal with that, which is fucking great. It makes blueprints a little bit more easier to deal with. Yeah, they are simulating physics, all of them. Okay, so back, right, vehicle sim suspension. Let's investigate. Looks correct. Front wheel, front right. Front right, and the question I had for you, Green Coke, was what kind of animation you are trying to achieve with an UI. Are you rotating some elements, or are you going for the stylized, super stylized animations and UI, kind of like Persona or something like that, or are you going for more technical one? What is your aim? What are you trying to achieve? Right now I'm trying to achieve moving a simple fucking car, and it seems like I'm stuck on being on a Flintstone level of shit. Yeah, so like front right sim suspension, let's inspect that as well. But looks normal. Let's inspect the wheel as well. Yeah, my radius and width, etc. are different, but it shouldn't make the car not work at all. Yeah, it just shouldn't work that way. Front left wheel. Front left. Does the order of those shits matter? That the body should be the last? Maybe. Maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, sim suspension, it's basically the same. And wheel, and wheel. God damn, I'm stuck. Green Coke answers about the direction of the UI animes. I just got some health orbs that flash when you take damage or use mana, for example. Ah, okay. I have 4 orb resources, all with their own animes, etc. So meaning I could be playing 4 anim at the same time. Okay, okay, I get you, I get you. Health orbs that flash when you take damage or use mana, etc. Yeah. Yeah, then using the same node is so much help. It's true. When it comes to game development and the day jobs, if someone is willing to be an UI expert, gameplay programmer within the UI sphere, right? The C++ gameplay programmer within UI sphere, they're set for life because basically almost no one wants to deal with that stuff. So when company is trying to hire someone, not that many people are applying, and if someone applies and have skills and is cool to talk with, woo, immediately shooting to the top of the list. Yeah, immediately. Like, I don't think I've been at the company where anyone wanted to code UI, and if there was one person that was like, yeah, I can work on UI for the whole project, they were revered. Everyone was like, oh, thank fucking God you are here, and this person have such a job safety. Always, always. Such a job safety. And you might be thinking, yeah, it might be the truth only about, you know, companies in my country. But I talked with people that worked in the companies in other countries. And they confirmed that, yeah, if you find someone that is passionate or just willing to purely work on UI for the whole project, they instantly become the second most important thing, a person after game director. Greencock says, lol, UI is so simple, what the fuck, I enjoy it the most. Well, there you go. You might be, you know, a person, the most important person in the project. I guess it comes from the fact that, I don't know, maybe it seems like a big task and that you will be doing similar simple things day in, day out. That's why people don't want to deal with that stuff. Or, I don't know, maybe they are scared that if they make a mistake and something fucks up in the UI, the whole user experience might be broken for the player and they will be blamed for it. There might be many different reasons for why no one would want to just take on UI for the whole project, right? But if someone does it and enjoys that, then they become the code god, basically. Greencock says, I'm the project. Yeah. Exactly. And you know what I'm not? Explicitly, I'm not a vehicle constructor because I follow the guide and my vehicle doesn't drive at all. Hey, I can turn this shit. I can turn my wheel and nothing. Not a single thing is happening. Interesting. And according to documentation, it is so simple. Inputs are going in because I saw the fucking tires rotating, right? I also do wonder, it might not be the same cause, but I do wonder. I do wonder. Why those inputs aren't really working. Because they were supposed to be hooked up to the right thumbstick and my mouse. It actually gets triggered right now. Will it fix it? Da-da-da-da. No, nothing happens. Okay. Use pawn control rotation. Yeah, sure. Is that the thing that I don't think I ever set up the camera actually. Oh yeah, it is. rotating right now. Not on the gamepad though. Oh no, on the gamepad as well. Okay. I could work this shit around, but you know what would be lovely also? Driving the car around. And the car that I built is not working. What could be the problem? Should I put my body a little bit higher? If it will be the fix, then I'm a sad boy. But no, it's not the fix. So is that stuff not placed correctly? Okay, let's look at their car. How did they placed it like that? This is like a back left. -90, -90, -60, and that is set in -120. Okay, maybe let's just copy those transforms. Maybe for some reason my transforms cannot work that way. And let's take the back left wheel and the whole freaking transform for that back left. Copy paste it. Green Coke says ChatGPT changed over time though. Like it's praising me a lot for some reason. Really? Like I explain something and it's like, you got this and this, and these are options. Kinda like it. Ah, so ChatGPT became supportive. Kinda nice. Kinda nice. You're asking, yeah, it's like a supportive teacher that we all were lacking in school, right? Yeah, so if teachers are scared that, oh no, ChatGPT will, you know, be better than us, teachers, be supportive of your students. Say supportive shit to them. Of course, I'm, you know, oversimplifying the whole shit, but and this one. Yeah, let's just copy the transforms, and if for some freaking reason it will work, it means that there is some magic to placing transforms. As they said, and I don't understand this magic. Wait, what the? Let's see. Nope. Still doesn't drive. Rinko says it's still using a fuck ton of power each question, but it's nice to talk to. Oh yeah, the power consumption of AI. That's an engineering problem for them to figure out, right? Also, when it comes to those big data centers, they are using a shit ton of water for each and every question, right? That's also another problem of like, holy shit, okay. What will use up the drinkable water faster, humans or AI? That's the question. Greencock says, I heard each question is like 2.5 megawatts or some shit. 2.5 megawatts to answer a question? Shit, I could be half brain dead and my brain uses less energy. What the hell? And yeah, the water usage is huge, Greencock says. And Greencock says that AI definitely uses more water than humanity. Imagine 6 billion people storing a photo one day. That's one data center a day to store that in the in cloud. Yeah. Yeah, I remember one of the CEOs of the LLM companies were send out a tweet that'd be like, yeah, it's great that you are thanking our chat for help, but please don't do this because it costs us millions. Rincock says, imagine power and water consumption rise because of that. Yep. I mean, if the data center is in the country and there is atomic power or some other renewable power, then they might be, you know, a little bit better with that, but still water usage doesn't change, right? My country mostly is coal based. So, and I heard that Google wants to build some data centers in here. I'm thinking, oh my god, we are already burning so much coal and we'll be burning even more. Shit, we need to get up on speed with the atomic power. At some point we can't buy it anymore because AI and clouds eat it all. Yeah, I had this nightmare scenario in my head that we're thinking, yeah, our industry and climate change will dry up all the drinkable water. And then we arrive with the ChatGPT and image generators, and we use up drinkable water because people are generating cat girls pictures. And I'm thinking, well, that's one way to turn on the apocalypse. And it's laughing through tears. Laughter through tears. Greencock says, that's one way to go. Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's the actual real reason why in the movie Mad Max, you know, there's no water. A way no one saw coming. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's 100% true. That's 100% true. I'm kind of lost of for I'm a little bit stuck. Why my modular vehicle that is very similar to that one is absolutely not working correctly. I'm at this moment when I will start just copying the values for each and every simulation component. If I have the exact same values and it still doesn't drive, then I have no fucking, I don't know where to even go from there. So it means that there is some hidden magic or hidden step that they didn't explain in the documentation, or I omitted it. I will look at it in a second. And that's why I cannot drive the car properly. Rincock says, destruction by cat girls, kawaii recession. Yeah, that would be a good name for a movie or video game about that. I remember that me and a couple of my friends, there was like a one moment where at the same time the article about some guys breaking, I don't know if it's true or fake article, but it was funny, breaking into some science center demanding that the scientists get on creating in real life cat girls. And at the same time a news came out about, you know, this water consumption and AI. And at the same time my friend was trying to use, you know, AI to create some playing around with it, right, and create some rap song, and it created the most awful rap song I ever heard. The lyrics were completely bad, the rhyme pattern was completely bad, and we jokingly started saying, well, only a couple of things will survive the apocalypse: AI, in real life cat girls, and rappers, the whole hip-hop culture, and that will be the final war of humanity. And we started thinking like that it would be a fucked up but funny setting for some Fallout type game, when you have free, you know, free how do you say it, free fractions, right, free factions, cat girls, rappers, and AI. It's a fucked up thought, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised if someone also came up with that and created a game with this shit. Okay, so let's get to copying those variables, because right now what I'm trying to find is troubleshoot why does my freaking vehicle that is set, I went step by step with the instruction, doesn't work, right? Greencock says, after AI takes over, it's the AI battle of cat girls versus rapper music over the last water and power resources. Yep. I mean, I would watch that movie. I would watch that movie. Yeah, okay, let's just get to copying to get to the bottom of the question that I have instead of pondering the reality of apocalypse. Oh my god. Okay, so vehicle sim suspension for back left. Back left. Let's just freaking copy everything. Let's even copy the location, I don't care. From what they did. If it's the location that I don't understand the rule of location. Let's copy all the attributes. Will they copy over? They will. The rest of it is the same. I don't think I need to do too much on that shit. Okay, let's go to vehicle to back left wheel simulation and let's copy all of that shit. Attributes. If it is the magic in the attributes that I also don't understand why. My values, default values weren't that different, and I would expect that if I'm setting up the vehicle the way they said to set it up, that the default parameters would be working, right? So, okay. Back right. Where the hell is my back right? Back right is here. Okay, so suspension. Let's copy the transform. Let's copy the attributes, although they are super similar. But whatever. Now let's go for wheel. Okay, it is done. Now front right. Sim suspension. I have no idea why it is. Wait a second. Is it because the suspension was put some way over there? Huh. Okay. Okay, we put it here. Now to the wheel simulation. Okay, now front left and side to side. No, front left, suspension. Let's do it quicker. It's in a completely weird place. Why would that placement work? I have no idea. But whatever, let's just copy it and see if it works, because if it doesn't, then there is some hidden magic and I have to go into the code to... I'm not even sure if I would be able to debug it just via code, because it's supposed to be physics simulation, so the car simulation would move the whole physics construction forward. So... Wait, this vehicle sim is moved somewhere. What the... Okay, I'm copying it, but I don't understand why it is done that way. What else do we have here? And we have our body, yes. Our body. This is our body, the exact same body, with the exact same freaking setup. Vehicle sim, chassis. Is there anything worth noting of a difference? Not in transform. Attributes are basically the same. So let's go to the engine. There's no parent socket, no change in transform, just attributes. Let's put it into here. Then modular vehicle, nothing in here. Input config, nothing in here. The rest of it is not that different. Yeah, great. Clutch. Let's copy the values of clutch, even though I think they are the exact same. Yeah, they are the exact same. And the transmission. Oh no, my gamepad. Okay. Attributes and attributes. Here and here, here and here. Okay. I copied all of the attributes and transforms. Let's see if the freaking car actually works. And it started moving. I'm going fucking crazy. What could have been the cause of that? Now it's, oh, of course, camera is completely awful, but who cares? Only Nathan says, why does green code add a H after many letters? It's just a typo, I guess. Oftentimes when I type from phone, or even on my keyboard, I mess up something. One of the most common mistakes I do, and it is probably something within my brain, is especially when I handwrite shit, I change R's to fours and fours to R's. I made so many mistakes in school because of that. And I wouldn't worry too much about spelling mistakes. I'm not a stickler for that at all. I make mistakes, you know, all the time. We're not on exam here, so you know. Greencock says, oh, I cannot spell resources. I'm stuck in some weird old English spelling. Where you add an H to any C. Yeah, after. It happens. I cannot explain why I change R's to fours and fours to R. And sometimes even when I'm typing, I still might do this mistake. I cannot explain to you why my brain does that. It's always been like that since, you know, elementary. So you know. Only Nathan said it's so over. The old English? Yeah. Old English is old. Okay. Modular vehicles R&D. Why? Is there some magic to where the actual suspension lies? Like, okay, off-road tire is here. So the magic is that if suspension is not in the exact same place as sim wheel, it won't work. But the suspension can be placed wherever the fuck you want. Like, for example, I can put this, I don't know, 400. Doesn't matter. The sim wheel has to be in this exact same place. Will my car not work right now? No, they do work. Bit weird, but it does work. Okay, but let me put camera and turn off the pawn control. I don't want to have that shit. Oh, it automatically tries to... Yeah, it has a track control. So... Green Coke. Okay, to get schooled on English at this time of day. Okay. What I wanted... yeah, I don't understand where the magic was, I'll be honest. I don't think it was the transform of suspensions and sim wheels or anything like this. I think the magic was within the attributes. My attributes were default, but not working. So I don't know why. I can quickly click through the defaults for all of this shit. Actually, no, I want this. Yeah, I can quick default on those params and see if my wheels will work. And Rincock says, I'm deep in my UI functions, leave me. Yeah, listen, Rincock is a trooper, he's taking care of UI, right? So let's leave him alone. And you wouldn't want to see me write English. I'm making spelling mistakes all the time. And I'm not sure if not being native in English is an excuse on my end. I'm sure that on my Discord, which I'm always forgetting to leave a goddamn invite to. So here is the Discord that you can join, and we can, also exchange messages on there and share progresses, ask questions, etc. Progress of projects. I do, stream announcements on there whenever they are coming, and I'm sure I made shit ton of both grammatic and spelling mistakes in there. And I also made some mistakes in here, and I don't understand. I'm trying to understand what and now the car also works. It is, completely. Do you guys see that? I think I unlocked some new technology. Yep, that's the car that you remember how I was talking 2 hours ago about creating a completely fucked up vehicle? I did it. Woo, woo. Dirt off my shoulder. It just works. Exactly. Ship it. It's the Starfield 2. Yeah, okay, so my car wasn't working. I copied all the transforms over. It started working. Now I reverted to default values that, are there when you are adding this simulation component. And it's kind of working like this. The whole chassis and engine and clutch completely fell down and fell apart. Now it's reversing on its own. Oh my god, this is so funny. Omni Nathan says, this isn't a car, this is just wheels, no car. Or the car is invisible. Yeah, basically, I'm just trying to ride, and if I try to steer, this is what happens. Oh, and the whole tire fell off. But I'm still going. Oh my god. Oh my god. What is happening? Why only values that they provided, not the default values on wheel, are the ones that are actually working? I don't know. Those values look okay to me. And at the beginning, it wasn't even driving. Omni Nathan says, the Wonder Woman car. Yes, yes. Exactly. Exactly. So, I don't know. Let's copy those values back again on my wheels. For some reason, they do work. Okay, back right. Back right. I'm not sure why. Let's look at this. Radius is 30. With it, radius is 30. With it, it's 20. Wheel inertia is 10. It's not like some impossible tire. Friction multiplier is 2. That might be a problem. But I remember changing this to 1 earlier and it also wasn't working. And cornering stiffness to 80. And the rest of it is the exact same. Maybe there's a discrepancy between this geometry collection and the wheel radius, and if there's a big discrepancy between actual geometry collection and the sim, that's why it breaks apart. Possibly. This might be the reason. This is the only thing that makes sense to me logically. If we are using geometry collection, actual collision values, and the sim values have completely different radius that is so much different than the regular tire that we are physically using, this might be the reason, I guess. But I am not sure, though. It is kind of fucking funny to me. And front left, let's copy it once again. These are, I think, the only ones that I did change to defaults. And let's... Yeah, now my front right wheel is not turning, but my whole car isn't also toppling over and breaking apart. So that's nice. And you can be steering. Whee. Okay. This camera is awful. Let me quickly adjust that because I just cannot look at it. Camera. Let's put it even further. And let's put it like this. It should be better. Yeah. It is. At least I can see where I'm driving. And Greencock says, it's working. I see a vroom vroom. Yeah. But I'll be honest, I'm not sure what was the problem there. Oh, shit! You know? I think working might be a little bit an overstatement. Sometimes I love working with physics when my payday doesn't depend on it, because right now I'm completely stress-free and I'm just laughing my ass off. Greencock says, I think you lost the driver. Yeah, I think I lost my mind as well. Okay, let's play in this level. Once again. Let's try to just drive up a hill. It looks like a off-road car. I copied these settings from an off-road. Whoa. Whoa, I'm just one single tire. That's like a technology from, you know, caveman era. Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. Okay. Okay. I might need a quick break. But there's one thing that doesn't give me break. Let's quickly go top. I forgot how you measure. Okay, but once this is like 1 meter, right? Okay, so this tire actually has a diameter of 1 meter, so it is half radius. Okay, yeah, I think, you know what, right now the most probable cause of the problem is that my attributes weren't actually connected to the reality of geometry collection. When I look at the geometry collection, yes, it has a radius of 50 units, right? 50 centimeters. So diameter of 1 meter, kind of like we see in the picture. And the default wheel radius was like 30, and probably the whole simulation was fucking up because of that. That is right now my working hypothesis. But okay, we have half working vehicle because it still kind of doesn't work the same as the one here. And actually we can test if the Epic's provided vehicle is working better. Let's take my game mode. Let's put it, what the hell? Yeah, let's put it as the default pawn. And let's drive their car. So far, so good. Yeah, let's go for the hills. Traction control, great. It is better than my car. Actually, it behaves way better. But I wonder though, I copied right now every setting and every goddamn transform for each element here. And theirs car do not break as much as mine. Oh, because they turn on the invincibility. Let's turn that shit off, shall we? And let's see how their car first. Yeah, the traction control is kinda annoying. Well, yep. If we turn off invincibility, it still breaks, although a little bit less so than mine. The way those freaking tires snapped off. And the camera still tries to follow those tires, not the main chassis. Or chassis or whatever. Great. This is great. Alright. What was the second point of order? I think we achieved it. It was create weirdest vehicle. We kinda did it. Let's create our own GM collections and build vehicle with it. We might jump straight to that. Or I might change the, behavior of my vehicle for a hot second. Like add additional tires in the weird places or whatever. I might do it in a hot second, but I need a quick break. So I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm back from my short break. I'm back. So, where were we? Ah, yes. We created a little bit messed up vehicle. Let's bring back this and let's maybe copy and make our vehicle also invincible. But these are not the things that I wanna. My components are named differently. Okay, so body, and then this, and I guess this. And it should not break as it used to. Let's see. Oh, this traction control is annoying. But the car doesn't break. It's not amazing either, but I have to drive today with my car. I hope it's not like a prophecy of what will be happening. I really hope fucking not. Okay. So create weirdest vehicle. Yeah, let's follow the plan. Let's not jump into geometry collections immediately. Maybe let's add some weird shit in here. What do we want to have here? What do we have in geometry collections that they already provided? We can add a sphere for some reason. We can add another tire. Create like a fucking tank. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Let's create like a weird ass tank. So it will be like oh, I cannot duplicate it like this, so let's duplicate it like that. And it will be a weird ass tank. And another one here. And oh my god, but so many simulation components to add. Is it worth it? And copying all the values? No, it's not worth it. Let's think about adding some different element. Dexterovsky, how is it going? Well, the car wasn't working at the beginning. Like the tires were moving, but the car wasn't. And I couldn't find the real difference for it. So I just started copying the values from Epic's example. And suddenly it started working. And I determined the most probable hypothesis that the attributes of the simulated wheel, the radius, the width, weren't the real values of how big the actual tire is. And because of that difference between geometry collection that has collision and the simulation attributes, it probably was fucking up. And now it's, you know, it's not the best car you can ever drive, but it is working. The steering works. The camera is horrible, of course, but it kind of works. I don't know what creates this, you know, weird ass effect on visual effect on tires. And I made my car invincible because otherwise I can show you what will happen otherwise. You'll be laughing your ass off. Yeah, let's turn on invincibility. Turn off invincibility. And look at that. We're driving, gathering speed. Yay. And boom, we already lost 2 wheels. We lost chassis. Now we are following just 2 wheels that are for some reason still attached to each other and fell off. Yeah. So that's actually cool that the modular vehicles, if you turn off invincibility, which basically means you do not do anything with them, they can get damage from collision and your whole fucking vehicle can destroy itself and fall apart. That's actually cool. I like that. I'm imagining, you know, kart racer where if you have a big collision, parts are flying everywhere and they are simulated by physics. It's awesome. It could be awesome, right? Right now I want to quickly add some weird ass elements to it, but to be honest, most of the weird vehicles they kinda did. They already did. Hovercraft, they did the weird ass aircraft. I'm not sure what I could add to it without creating my own geometry collection. I was thinking about making it, turning it into a tank, creating like more wheels, but the idea of copying all those suspensions and vehicles is not really working for me. But I might create, wait, let's do something else. I have an idea. Modular vehicles. Let me just copy it and it will be thruster based four-wheeler. It will be a weird ass car. Lekserski say, yeah, but I assume that the cool thing of destroying vehicle ends at the point of managing the way how damage is applied to geometry collection, because built-in is S. That's true. If you wanted to actually manage how the damage is applied to each part of the geometry so you could steer it a little bit in a specific direction, yeah, it's not there yet. It's not there yet. For sure. Let me turn on that, because what we'll be doing here is I will delete the whole engine, whole clutch and the whole transmission, right? And if I remember correctly, reading on their documentation page, they proposed adding thruster to have more arcade vehicle. There could also be unpowered trolley, just wheel and suspension, and that's it. From what they're proposing, but we will be using just the thruster. Body, we have chassis. Oh my god, this is such a freaking hard word. And that's where we should put in thruster. I'm not sure. Let's, you know, play around with it. Or let's see how aircraft does it. Where is the thruster? Oh, just in a body. Okay. So there's no, we don't need chassis. Okay. A vehicle sim thruster. Max thrust force. Okay, let's see how they do have it in, for example, hovercraft. What kind of variables do they have? Oh, they have sim chassis. Oops. So let's get back with the chassis, shall we? And let's delete the additional tire that wasn't needed here. And the values they have for thruster, max thrust force, force offset. That makes sense. Yeah, maybe let's just copy those attributes and see what will happen. Let's see what will happen. And steering enabled. Whatever. The one thing that I need to change though is that instead of the throttle, they have the, where the hell is it? Okay, let's just start playing. Leksterovski. So it's another showcase only ready feature. Yeah, most probably. Especially like there are some stuff missing in documentation, in my opinion, that might make it harder a little bit to use. But that's a regular shit for Unreal, so you know, maybe that's a bad point. There are many shipping ready features that don't have great documentation. Let's just put it into my game module. Let's see what will happen. Do you see this, guys? Whenever I'm turning, it's moving up and down. And yeah, boy, it was funny. I guess the problem is that the thruster is supposed to go like up and down, kind of like in plane, right? So I should turn off steering and, you know, right now I don't have the engine or transmission or clutch. It is just pure thruster moving this whole shit. Whoa! Yeah. To make it into a kart racer, you would have to, with that, do so much adjustments and probably create an additional code to constantly counter specific things. Like for example, if your car bounces up too much, there should be like a damping force that, you know, puts it more on the ground, etc, etc. So I'm not sure that might be the best way for kart racer. Even though they are stating that, you know, oh, simple arcade vehicle, thruster, wheel, suspension, I'm not sure about that. Unpowered trolley, wheel and suspension. Yeah, let's try it. Right now we have no engine, no thruster, no anything. Let's just put it over the hills. It is kind of like if in Tears of the Kingdom you would just, you know, attach 4 wheels to a wooden plank and put it on the hills. So let's see, you know, how that will fare. Oh, I should also rotate this. Yeah, it is just a regular old trolley. No thruster, no engine. So that's the way that you can build this shit. I got another idea. Let's delete this and this wheel and let's put those 2 wheels in the middle. I want to see how that will behave. It is weird as shit, but you know. Let's see, actually. Kinda like a weirdest motorcycle. And what the okay. We kinda build a motorcycle right now, I think, without the engine, and the one that will be constantly falling. Whoa! So yeah, that shit might need more work in order to make it an actual motorcycle. A force that will be keeping it, you know. Let me take a quick second on that. Okay. Some small emergency I had to take care of. Sorry for that. Nexterski says, how do you think it would be possible to make a simple motorbike with only 2 wheels and suspension working? Okay, you answered my question right now. Yeah. I mean, there is no engine in here or anything like that, but still you would need to add probably some code or maybe some other semi-component, or create our own semi-component that would turn it into a motorcycle a little bit better, because we need the force that will keep the motorcycle upright. Because it will immediately fall into one of the directions, right? I guess I could add thrust in here. There's physics thruster component. Okay, I didn't know that such thing exists. Yeah, and we can try just copy those value and put those attributes in here and see how it will behave with the thruster instead of the engine. It will behave like ass. Okay. Woo. Oh, we're driving! We drove for like not even a full second, I think. I'm not even sure if I'm, moving the front wheel at all. Okay. Does it accept steering or? Yeah, it does. Okay, so we have that. How about unicycle? Let's delete. We need only one wheel, right, guys? We only need one wheel in life. Even worse. Even fucking worse. So the flying vehicles that they provided, they kind of already answer questions about how to do these type of stuff. Yeah, so there's only one last point of order. And I have 24 minutes until finishing the stream. So yeah, creating our own geometry collections and build vehicle with it. So let's get back to the documentation once again. And let's freaking try to do it. With the static mesh asset selected, generate new. And we'll use that. So let's try to do it, but the static mesh will be of our own. We will do something like this. Modeling, bank, torus or cylinder? Torus or cylinder? Let's use the actual torus, right? Let's put it in here. Oh my god. Let's put it in here. This will be our tire. Maybe let's rotate it so it will be upwards, right? What the fuck? Okay, no, cancel. Let's put it actually on a flat ground. Right? And let's rotate it in 90 degrees, right? Let's move it a little bit up, right? Yeah, and this will be our torus. Maybe it could be like that. Why not, actually? Yeah, okay, so this is our torus and current folder. That's when I want to create it. Let's save it. Let's change the name of it to wheel, new wheel, or whatever. This is our new wheel, and we will try to create the geometry collection out of that shit. So they are telling us that we should use fracture. Create, generate new. Yeah. In the select path window, yeah, click generate. In the details of geometry collection asset, set the mass of each part and the damage threshold for how easily the part breaks off. Okay, mass as density. And the details of that. How the where should I be even start clicking that? Ah, here. Is it here? Yeah, I guess. So, mass as density. Where is it? There's no such shit. Immediately it's like, okay. Okay, but at least there's damage. Yes, damage model, damage. User defined damage threshold. Okay. For the other vehicle parts, we need to repeat that. And that's kind of it, right? Okay, so I guess we can just start using it. It's been so long since I've been using the fracture anything that I forgot how to save this asset. Is it already saved or something? I can just click save all, and hopefully it is saved, right? And right now we have GC turrets. Okay, so it should be in our content drawer. It is. And for our, we will right now change our car a little bit, because our vehicle sim suspension, no. Oh, we have just suspensions without tires. Okay, so that vehicle is fucked. Let's duplicate my basic four-wheeler. Our own GCs. And let's open it up. And we'll be quickly swapping the those geometry collections. If I can. Can I? No, not really. Fuck. So what we will do quickly is put in our Taurus in here. Whoa! It is a big ass boy. Okay. Our Taurus is here. But I wanted it just like here. And let me put the back left suspension and wheel into here. Change the name, back left, of course. And because that shit doesn't have anything attached to it, let's delete it. But right now, this wheel turning, not really gonna happen in a great way. So we need to move it, no, not in that axis. In that axis, 90 degrees. And yeah, let's turn all of that shit off. I think I need to do the axis type differently, because right now this is world space, this is local space. We will be actually our axis type will be Z. We have only X and Y. Oh shit, I think we might be fucked. Okay, so now I need to, and also this isn't a part of that. What the hell happened in here? Attach this and attach this like that. Okay, Wow, it takes a lot of time to just readjust all this shit, but okay, we'll manage, we will manage. Actually, I can delete all of those. That, no, and no, and this, and we still have this, this. This is the only tire that should be here. Okay. Duplicate this, back right torus, and it should be symmetrical, so 130. Wait, that was wrong. 100, because I wanted it as back. Wait, what the hell is happening? It's supposed to be symmetrical, and yet it ain't. Ah, yeah, I have a pivot offset, right? Okay. We'll see how it will work. I'm already thinking like, yep, that will be fucked. And let's copy the suspension, then the wheel, and let's do the whole shit again. Can't I just duplicate everything? The fuck it did. For some reason it cannot maintain the hierarchy when I do this duplication. So I have to, it has to be this annoying. Oh my god. Okay. Duplicate. Right. Okay. And now, once again. And it is front right. And suspension. I don't know why it does this that way, but. And then this seam wheel. Here, oh my god, there's so much hand holding and hand picking values in here that it breaks my brain a little bit. I don't like this type of work, but you know, beggars can be choosers, right? And front left 155, so minus 155. Oh no, wait, what the, of course 155. No, not that one, that one. Okay, now in here, yes, and another suspension to copy. Woo. And set up wheels. Oh my god, this is kind of an annoying way to set up everything. And now the wheels. Only the front should have steering enabled. And no, reverse direction will be on the right. So this is correct. This is incorrect. For the left one and back left one, also reverse direction is incorrect. Because this time no. Fuck! The left one is supposed to have reverse direction, right? Because they are reversed. Oh my god, it's so annoying to have that in that way. Reverse direction on the left one, yeah. And why it like that? 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0. Great, great. Oh my god. Okay, so these are, and front right, once again, they are not no. Yeah, these are not supposed to be, on the left, they are not supposed to be reverse directed. Shit, there's so much stuff to remember. Okay, okay, and once again, 0, 0, 0. Suspension also should be zeroed. I guess I can just click that. And the same here. 0. I'm not sure if that makes any difference, but it did 2 hours ago, so I'm not taking my chances. Yeah. And I think we're set, and I think we will try this, and yeah, wrong vehicle. I'm thinking it won't work with our own Tauruses. What the hell? Oh my god! Immediately, it fell apart immediately. Let's see it in slow motion, shall we? Immediately broke. Okay, let's turn on invincibility for all this stuff. Oh my god. Immediately it doesn't work. That's great. Let's see if putting it in invincible mode. Whoa, that's a nice car. Woo! What do you think about that? Oh my fucking god. Yes. So they are not really in the correct axis. Turning in correct axis. That's the first thing, but I think there are more. Oh! And I don't have z-axis there. So I guess the mesh has to work right out of the get-go. Because look at this shit. But right now it looks futuristic. So yeah, that's your own geometry collection for y'all. I have 8 minutes left, so I'm not sure if I would be able to quickly. I mean, no, I should be. Modeling, I should be able to use. Not that. Put the new wheel in here. And there was a way to change the pivot, right? If I remember correctly, but right now it's more of a like modeling exercise that you need to have a correct torus. And set pivot mode. Yeah, now it is put into correct pivot, into correct axis. Complete. Save. Save all. Actually, let's get back to selection and let's see if our new wheel has changed. No, it didn't. What the fuck? And now my editor is fucking up. What's going on? Okay. But basically, yeah, if you create a correct geometry collection, a correct model, if you would align it as such that x-axis is forward, it will work for you. I didn't do it, so that's why it didn't work for me. and I have like 6 minutes right now left before finishing the stream. Well, it's been fun. I don't get me wrong. It was super fun to play around with that shit and build our own modular vehicles in that way. I don't know what all the tearing is from on the wheels, and we are falling flat on our asses. So it's been fun. It's been fun to use, fun to play around with some parameters. I'll be honest, setting up the whole vehicle is a little bit cumbersome for me. Putting geometry collection and then assigning those sim components, setting up their transforms, etc. It is a bit much sometimes. The more elements you have, the more annoying it is, but I guess the idea is that once you set it up correctly, then you can just play around with parameters and have flying cars and whatever you want, right? So that's the idea, that the initial setup might be a little bit painful, but then you just constantly play around with those parameters, and that's the way you're changing your vehicle, right? By changing the transmission parameters, clutch, the engine, of course, parameters, and the torque of it, parameters of suspension, the wheel, etc., 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 right? But it doesn't work great in multiplayer, right? As we saw at the beginning of the stream, we get immediate desync with the real life what's it called, lags. Like, we immediately desynced. We saw on the left side of the screen that the guy was standing in place when actually he is constantly driving. So multiplayer, not there yet. And as Dexterowski put it, because it is working off of geometry collection, so managing the way how each part gets damaged and how the damage is applied to the whole geometry, the whole car or vehicle as a whole thing, pain in the ass, might not even be doable to direct it in an awesome way. It's one of those features that they look nice on the showcase, they are showing off some ideas, but still needs cooking. So to answer the question from Isam75 at the beginning, both mover component, not really for vehicles, and modular vehicles, looks cool. It's cool to play around with it, but I definitely wouldn't choose it for shippable project. Mostly because of how it works with the multiplayer attached to it, and there are some magic steps to it that I'm not a big fan of. That there's something weird with the transforms of those sim components, but it might be a cool look into the future if they will fix the goddamn what's it called, the multiplayer. And if, you know, the direction of how damage affects your car will be a little bit more manageable, then it will be cool to use for shippable games. But for now, I cannot recommend it. Your best bet is not even using Chaos Vehicle, but writing your own, unfortunately, movement component. That would be just simulating the vehicle the way that you want, apply some velocities, etc., etc. This is still the best bet, at least for now. Maybe there is a plugin somewhere out there that I'm not aware of, like on the marketplace or GitHub or whatever. But for now, modular vehicles, cool to show and play around with, not for shippable games. I wonder how they used it in Fortnite. I would love to, you know, get access to the repo and look at each vehicle that they did with modular vehicles, because at least, hey, that's how they're showing it off in the documentation. This is Lego Fortnite, and I guess it uses modular vehicles if they put it in here, or they just used it as a, you know, show that, hey, this is where we use it. And I would love to see, and it works in multiplayer, so I would love to see how it works for them. What kind of code changes they did, how did they set up the assets, etc. Because obviously what I have on my computer, it's not exactly the same what they use in the shipped product on all those platforms. It looks cool, actually. I need to play Lego Fortnite at some point, just for research purposes. Anyway, I think that's been all from me for today. I will see you guys next Sunday with another stream. Not sure about the topic yet, but I will figure this out. Join my Discord if you want to see the announcement ahead of time. Maybe you can ask a question, maybe you will influence me in the comments or whatever. Last two streams were basically inspired by questions by one of the community in comments, Isam75. So, you know, if you are wondering about specific plugin or doing something, ask away, join this Discord, and, you know, it might happen. So without further ado, bye bye, have a nice rest of the day and a cool week ahead of you. Bye bye.